Sure.
I want to get into your kids. You
One of
being
my
a
favorite
father.
topics.
One of your favorite topics. He has two amazing children.
Thank you.
Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Anthony. Like I said, that's my family.
Yes, it is.
But you being a father, and I'm sure people are looking at it, they're probably like, yeah, I would love for this. Like, I want him to be my dad. You know what I mean? He's just so chill.
Yes,
He's just
yeah,
so chill, right? I'm sure he's like this all the time, right?
Yeah.
But seriously, your leadership style, how has that affected you being a father? And how has that taught you certain lessons, and vice versa? The lessons that you learned from being a father, how has that made you a better leader?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to phrase it. And I think, when you're a parent, you're growing up with the kids, right? Because you might be 25, you might be 30 when you have a kid. On average, maybe younger, maybe a little older, but you're growing up. You're still learning. And nobody. I always laugh. I say you got to take a test and get a license to drive a car, but a kid they'll just give you for having a is born and you get to be a parent, which is crazy. But it's a process. You learn. It's, I would say all of the enjoyment that I had in my life, the best things that have come from it are from my wife and my kids. And that is watching them grow up and watching them evolve. And you make mistakes and you see them get hurt. You see them not get what they want sometimes. And that hurts you more so. You start to understand, so as a leader, you feel more, you're more empathetic. You start to understand different things. Sometimes the message that you give, like you said, like anybody's parents, your parents tell you something, it may mean nothing to you. You hear it from somebody else, and then it's like, oh, yeah. And you're like, wait, I was telling you that all along. So, and I tried along the way, to just share different things. If I read something that makes sense, I try and say, hey, this is something in all my years, this was something I learned from. You could learn it sooner. And, one of the ones I used to always say to them is, what other people's opinion is of me is none of my business. And it was like just that confidence that you have. Like, I don't care if you think I don't dress right, or I'm not the best at this, or you don't like me. That's you. That's not me. So you learn from that. And then I think on becoming a leader in business, I say everybody's got a family. They came to work to do a job to take care of their family. So it doesn't matter what your title is or what theirs is. Neither one of us is more important. We're both just trying to take care of our families. So treat them with the respect. Learn from them where you can. Take interest in them because, you ask about my kids, I start to glow. You ask about their family, and that's what they're proud of, and that's what they want to talk about. So that helps you to get better. And again, watching them grow in the different stages that they learn at, it helps you to be better at communicating. And I used this story the other day, and I mention it all the time. When Anthony was, real little and just learning to ride a bike, we're finally going to the street, and he's got the training wheels, and we're driving, and there's, curbs are like the side, the stones on the side of the street. So he's young, and I'm saying, stay, closer to the curb, and he's drifting to the middle of the street. I say, hey, Anthony, stay closer to this curb, and drifting again. So the third time, I'm not as patient as I am today. I say, hey, if you don't stay close to the curb, you're getting off your bike. And he, turns around his little head and he says, what the heck is a curb? And I'm like, yeah, he don't know. Yeah, he's 4 or 5, whatever it was. So it's just one of those things that sticks with me today to say, if somebody doesn't understand what I'm saying, I'm not saying it right. So those are just, there's a million of them. But again, I'm thankful for, they inspire me to do it every day. And, you can only be as happy as your kids and your family are.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
And thank God, healthy,
Parent advice, CEO advice, it's all the same.
Listen, maybe some of it's good. I take advice from everybody. Mm-hmm. So my answers can change every day.
Mm-hmm. And it should be. That's something that
we're evolving.
I always try to make sure that I don't have the same answer last year that I had this year. But sticking with the kids, your oldest child is a daughter.
Correct.
Alex, and then you have Anthony. When it comes to Alex, as a man raising a daughter, obviously it's a little different than raising Anthony, I would assume. But with raising a daughter, is the example that you set, like, does that make you want to, because you're setting an example for what?
This is a question for Sam. She might give totally different answers. No, I'm kidding.
But seriously, you as a dad, obviously you want to, when I have kids, whenever that happens, I want to make sure for my daughter that I'm setting an example. Yeah. Not necessarily just spoiling her, but just setting her example for, how a man, should be. Maybe that's
listen, I say the one that I hear that makes the most sense to me is parenting, what the kids learn from you is caught, not taught. So you could tell them whatever you want, but they're watching you every day. And when I would lose my temper, Sam would tell me that too. Hey, that's not, you can't do that. And again, you always try and get better and better at it. I was fortunate. My sister is 12 years older than me. She's the oldest. I'm the youngest. She's 39. No, just kidding.
She's 39.
Yeah.
Stick with it.
But her kids, so my nieces and nephews, when they were born, I was around them a lot. So I got to be around little infants, and my niece Marissa is phenomenal, superstar too. And I got to see, how you treat, the boys were roughhousing with them, the girls were different with them, but you got to see a different example. And, it's not a lot different. Be good, be nice, be kind, listen to them, do what they want to do, always have energy to get up and play with them, never say no, and it all works out. So I don't think it was a ton different. It's harder with boys. Maybe you're a little tougher and you want them to compete more at certain stuff. But Alex was crazy in cheerleading too. So she was, super competitive with that. And they both have super qualities, similar but different.